there, friends. Welcome back to Second Star to the Left. I'm Michelle, and this is my daughter, Billie.
Hi.
And here's where we'll share board game reviews, ramblings, and a few wrong turns along the scenic route. Billie and I each came up with our top 10 list of games that we played that came out in 2023. Or at least I thought they did. Some of them maybe didn't come out in 2023, but we definitely played them in 2023. And you're going to notice on this list that there are not a lot of great big games, even though we might have purchased a lot of great big games. 2023 was a little bit of a lighter year for us, so this list is going to reflect that. At least mine is going to reflect that. I'm pretty sure that means yours will as well.
Yeah.
Do you have any honorable mentions?
No, because you told me to pick 10, so I picked 10.
Yeah, but you've watched list videos, right?
Yes, but that's
so
cheating.
It's not cheating, it's a requirement.
You said 10 games, so I prepared 10 games.
Right, well, good on you, but I have 2 honorable mentions.
You cheated.
No, it's not cheating. And the reason that they're honorable mentions...
You have a top 12 list.
No, it's not. The reason that they're honorable mentions is because they are either expansions or variations of games that came out earlier. So I put them on the honorable mention list. And one of them was Boop, which was the Halloween version of Boop that we played a ton of during it. Okay. So I really like the Halloween version. I would play it all year round. I'm not sure how I feel about the ghosts. The Halloween version is the same game with adorable little cats. Some of them are ghosts and some of them are holding pumpkins. And then there's the added little ghosts that will go across the board and kind of mess up everybody's plans by booping the cats and kittens around. Is that on your list?
You gave me this list.
I know, but then I wanted to include this one.
You gave me this list and you just have Boop written on it.
Okay.
You said, pick 10 of these. These are the games we played that were new. And you said, pick 10 of them. And one of them was Boop.
Okay, well,
no, you just had Boop. 2 O's. It just said Boop. So I assumed that was on the list for
I'm
some
gonna
reason.
guess that
so I should sort it.
Billie's list, this will show
up. It's possible regular Boop made my list somehow.
You should check my work. And then the other honorable mention, which I don't think it's on your, is for Sea Salt and Paper, which is the extra salt. So that added the jellyfish and a couple of other things. And Sea Salt and Paper is a game that I've played a lot, both at conventions in person and on Board Game Arena. If you ever want to play Sea Salt and Paper on Board Game Arena, just invite me. I'm always in a game of it somewhere. And so I've played this a lot. Is this one on there? Okay, so let's just get to the list. I'm getting the worst glare from Billie right now. Apparently there was some mix-up with my list.
Several of the games on my list were not released in 2023.
Why would you just trust me?
You put them on the list. You said, here, use these games to make a top 10 list. They're the relevant games, and I trusted you. Foolish.
Okay, I did give Billie a list. We did use Pub Meeple to rank the games. And then I promptly tweaked what Pub Meeple said because I don't think it was right.
See, I just kept what Pub Meeple gave me because that's the actual list.
No. All right, so we're going to start at number 10. And if one of us mentions a game, besides the honorable mentions, that will be listed higher above on the other person's list, then we'll wait to talk about it. Okay? And I do not know clearly Billie's list, and she is very disappointed in mine.
Yes.
So let's see how this goes. Do you want to go first?
Sure. Actually, I think you should go first.
I should go first. Okay, at number 10, I have a game that would be much higher up if we played it more, or if we had played it more during the year, and that is Thunder Road Vendetta.
That is higher on my list?
I pretty much guessed that. So what's your number 10?
My number 10 is Sail.
Why isn't that on my list?
Because you're a terrible person.
Sail is a really good game.
It is a really good game. Why isn't it on your list?
I don't...
Did you give me a different list than you used?
No, because I picked different games.
Oh my goodness.
Sail is a trick-taking card game that's a little bit different than any other trick-taking card game that we have. It's from, it's All Play, right?
I don't know.
It's beautiful production in this tiny little box, and you are supposed to not communicate with each other during the hand, but I'm pretty sure we
might have sometimes.
There might have been some gestures. And you're trying to get your ship to move forward, avoiding obstacles and dangers by the tricks that you play. Either you're losing them or winning them or using certain symbols to move your ship along and not hit the crags and mountains and, I believe, Kraken. It is very beautiful. Mm-hmm. And we haven't played the harder versions of it yet. We're still on like the easy first and second version. And we're still working on perfecting our method of play. But yeah, Sail, I don't know why it's not on my list. So number 9, I'm sure is higher on your list, but my number 9 is Wild Tiled West. Is that higher on your list?
That is also my number 9.
Ding 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 ding
that
ding
is,
ding.
Yeah, that's number 9.
Again, I will say, had we played Wild Tiled West more,
it probably would have been
it would have moved up.
Because I loved it.
Right? I do not like Western-themed games generally.
But it had aminals.
But they were Western critters, and it's a polyomino game with a really unique drafting method for the tiles, because you're placing the polyhedral dice around, and depending on what you roll, those are the tiles that are available to you. And then you're shooting bad guys and, making herds of cattle.
Do you know they're bad? They're not just down on their luck and
they're
they have to
bandits
steal to feed their families?
This is not a Jean Valjean situation.
Of locking them up and rehabilitating them, you are just murdering them on the spot.
I was. And then the little bullets turn into tombstones, and it's awesome.
I want to point out, my town had a hall, a general store, a hotel. Yours was open plains and people shooting bandits. There were no buildings, not a single building. It was just a free-for-all, just a violent hellscape.
So clearly there are different paths to victory. I chose violence. But I really, really enjoyed this game a ton. And
it's really fun.
And I think it's the kind of game we could get other people in the family to play, because it's bright and it's colorful, and even though there's a lot going on the board, the actual rule set isn't too complicated, right? So it's just how you draft the tiles and then how you set up your own town. Whether or not you want buildings, you do you. All right, my number 8. I don't know if my number 8's on your list at all, and that is Lorcana. Did that make your list?
That was my 15.
This is a top 10.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm just saying.
I think I played this a lot more than you did.
It almost made the list.
So Lorcana is basically Disney's version of Magic the Gathering. But I never played Magic the Gathering except for one time to have someone show it to me, and it didn't stick. I didn't really have too much interest in it.
I really like the art and the little lore bits at the bottom of the cards, but the game itself is kind of not my thing.
Yeah, it wasn't my thing, but obviously Disney is our thing, as we are headed there in a week or so.
I believe 10 days.
Yeah, I think we're down to 9. Who knows what it'll be when you see this video? Don't know. But it's also one of the only games that I can get my son to play with me, so that meant I played it more than you did, because I get to play with Connor. Yeah. I actually beat him once. That was exciting. But Connor was a very big Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, no, he has boxes and boxes full of cards. And not deck boxes, big storage boxes.
Kind of like my button shy collection. But so he was very interested in playing it, and he helped me build my deck, because really all I wanted to do is put all the cute characters in it. And even now I have Snow White and the 18 dwarves, because I thought it was funny. And Piglet. That's what my deck looks like. But it was the first time that kind of a game connected with me. I still honestly have a problem with games where you can buy yourself a win. So if you can afford more cards or better cards, then you'll beat everybody no matter what. I feel like this isn't quite that. I feel like...
Not yet, but give it enough years and that kind of stuff will emerge, because it always does. But hey, for now, it's Disney.
Right? But we did get the first wave and the second wave, and we're really looking forward to the next wave that's coming out, because it'll have locations, I believe. Mm-hmm. So that is my number 8. What is your number 8?
Deadly Dowagers.
Now you're going to have to wait on that.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Because I apparently really love murder. My number 7... I'm betting is not on your list, and that is Naturopolis. Is it on your list?
It is. Not on my top 10, though.
Definitely.
Stop saying
All right,
list.
okay. So it's not in your top 10.
My whole rankings up here. It's not in my top 10.
In a year where we played lighter games and quicker games, and quite frankly, I played a lot of solo games, Naturopolis just took over for a while. It is, to this point, my favorite Opolis, although I think there's one coming that might beat that. I like the theme better than I liked the urban setting, or even the agricultural, better than Sprawlopolis, better than Agropolis. I loved Naturopolis. I liked the inclusion of rivers and lakes. I loved the flavor text on the cards. My favorite is always going to be the one it's like a Bigfoot card, and you can score points if there's campsites that aren't exposed to like campers or roads or things, because Bigfoot could live in there.
Campsites that aren't
I think it's
exposed
forests.
to campers?
It's forests that don't have like campsites in it.
Or roads. Can't have roads.
Yeah, basically can't have things. Bigfoot doesn't want to be spotted.
Yeah, you need to give Bigfoot lots of space to roam, just out of focus.
Just in case. But also there's, make bigger meadows, make bigger lakes, make a longer river. You still get hit really hard for roads, which makes sense because it's Naturopolis, and who wants all those roads cutting through nature? It's quick, it's colorful, it's an opolis, and so it went with me lots of places this year. And when I wanted to just sit down, it was not the only button shy game that I sat down with, but it was
shocked.
But it was one of my favorites from the year. So what is your number 7?
My number 7 is Spots. Is that higher on your list?
No.
Is it also 7?
No.
Is it not on your list because you're a big dummy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot.
Oh my god. You gave me this list? How did you forget?
But I don't know, there were a lot of things to...
How did you forget?
There were a lot of things to factor in.
You made the list. You're the
yeah,
one that wrote
yeah.
it. It's in all lowercase, so I know you did it.
Why did you put Spots at number, 7?
Because I love Spots. It's really fun, and it's been great to play with Dad and Connor, and I think it's just a very quick game to pick up and learn, and it's good.
Yeah, it's just
I'm good at describing
it's good
things.
And it's fun.
I like games.
It's a push your luck game where you're putting the spots onto dogs, and I love that the pips on the dice are all not symmetrical. They look like dog spots. Mm-hmm, so also I tend to push my luck more than I should, just like any game like this. But this push your luck game isn't just rolling dice, because if you put too many spots on and you don't have room like in your doghouse, then you lose everything that you've worked for up to that point. There's also talents, skills that your dogs have. They can bark or howl or sit or run that give you little extra boosts on that turn. And once they're used during a round, you can't use them again. So there's a bit of strategy in using them at the right time and possibly keeping someone else from using them that works really well. It's really adorable art, and we got it for my mom for Christmas. We got it for Grandma for Christmas. So it's super fun. Push your luck. My number 6 is Deadly Dowagers. Oh, hey. This is a really sweet's not probably the right word, card game about marrying into wealth and then bumping them off so you can social climb your way up into privilege. You need to be a little bit careful, because if people know that you're doing this, and you'll get a reputation and no one will want to marry you, you'll have to marry just peasants. But if you skillfully do it, if you don't get caught, then you can catch yourself some, minor royalty.
And then murder them.
And then
for
murder
major
them.
Royalty.
And then get money and prestige. It sounds really dark, but it's very funny. And the flavor text on the cards is amazing. There aren't a lot of games where we read all of the text on all of the cards. But we took great fun in reading all of these and seeing how people were murdered and the little puns on, arsenic and axe murders. Why did you pick this one? Because it's fun?
It's fun and it's good.
And because there was murder.
I like board games. They're cool.
But you made fun of me for my Wild Child West town because it was all murder and chaos. And then a couple more spaces up on the list, you put Deadly Dowagers.
Oh, yes, because that's the point of this game. The point of that game was building a thriving western town.
Or
and
murder.
You just murdered people in a field.
Okay. What's your number 6?
My number 6 is Fit to Print.
You're going to have to wait.
I figured.
My number 5 is Waffle Time. Yep. Because waffles.
That was actually my 11.
Was it? So Waffle Time is a game that surprised me a little bit because I thought it would be a little more light and fluffy than it was, and it had some actual good decisions to be made, and not that there's anything wrong with light and fluffy.
Waffles.
We especially with waffles. But I wasn't sure I was going to like it, and then it turned out to be quite an interesting little puzzle, and you're filling up your waffle with butter and fruit and syrup and whipped cream to score the most points.
And also I'm better at it.
This one was given to us at Gen Con by AEG, and so we got to play this one, and we played it a couple of times right away because it's very sweet, and it brings out my inner Leslie Knope because there's never a time that waffles aren't the right choice.
That was almost the line.
Duh! It is. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is Shake That City.
Well, since that's my number 4, let's just go ahead with Shake That City.
All right, you can go ahead.
Shake That City might be the game that we played the most with other people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a fun puzzle. It's a fun twist on pretty much polyomino shapes, but you're making them with that incredible shaky box.
It's magic.
It is magic. It's just cardboard and rubber bands, but it is clearly magic. And you're just trying to put, parks next to houses and not have, factories next to houses and connect. You're trying to create the best grid that you can while meeting the objectives of each type of space and also the objectives that are randomly set along the outside of the board. So there's a lot of puzzle going on. It's one of those, you can't have all your dreams kind of game. So you set out trying to reach all the objectives, and at a certain point you have to just say, okay, that one's going to go. I also love it because even when it's not your turn, you're actively playing this game. Mm-hmm. So the only advantage for it to be your turn is you get first pick and can potentially block other people from using that choice.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you play every turn, so it goes really quickly and everybody's always engaged. It's just fun.
It is. It's good and fun, and I like it.
It is, and we had been looking forward to it since we had seen it at PAX because we got to play with the little...
that magic little shaky box, yeah.
We got to try it out there.
It's amazing.
It is. So since that's my number 4, what is your number 4?
Maximum Apocalypse.
Yes.
Yes.
It's not on my list.
Yeah.
It is on my list, just like missed the cutoff.
Not a 2023 release, though.
No, but the Wasted Wildlands is.
Oh, yeah.
That's how come it went on the list.
Okay.
You were going to mock me.
But then in the beginning you said, I'm not counting expansions and stuff, but...
I'm counting that one because it's a standalone, because you could just play that.
Okay, but I wasn't thinking of that when I made my list, so this is just Maximum Apocalypse as a game.
But also Wasted Wildlands.
Also Wasted
Okay. Maximum Apocalypse, and we've told this story, and I'm going to tell it again, is the game we didn't know we had, or the game I didn't remember.
You didn't know we had.
And I went to a meeting with Rock Manor Games, and we sat down, and they had it on the table to look at, and we had already backed the Kickstarter, and I turned to Billy and said, we should get this game. This game looks really fun. And Billy said, yeah, we have it.
We got it like 4 or 5 years ago.
It's at home. So, obviously the demonstration was for an updated version, and we had the original. But we came home, and then we took it off the shelf and kind of wiped the dust off it, and played a brand new game, just as if we had purchased it. So I count it as a free game. That's how that works.
It's a new game to us, too.
It was a new game to us. You're trying to meet the objectives and go across this kind of landscape by flipping over tiles and discovering places where you can...
yeah, I guess it is a dungeon crawler, right?
Yeah, so
That's the closest... Yeah.
You flip the tile and explore and move on to that tile, and sometimes there's zombies, and sometimes there's food or ammunition or gasoline for the van to get you out of there. And you're trying to have the entire group of people make it to the escape vehicle and also meet the conditions of that scenario. It is way more fun than I thought it would be. This was a game that Billy picked out, and I just kind of went along with.
And then it turns out I was right.
And it turns out Billy was right on this one.
You should trust me more often.
We have now all of the Maximum Apocalypse, so that is on our list to play, big scenarios coming up, and then we're going to make a video about that.
I'll do the dinosaur one.
We are going to do that. And there's a kaiju one, so.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
So we're looking forward to playing more and more and more. And you can mix and match your opponents and the landscape tiles. So it's kind of never-ending scenarios. My 3 is Unmatched Tales to a Maze. You're
going to have to wait.
Okay. Wow. Okay, well, my number...
No.
What's your number 3?
Just going to skip me.
Counting is hard.
It is.
What's your number 3?
Thunder Road Vendetta.
Wow, that's way higher than mine.
No kidding. It's because I win every time.
Yeah, that could be it.
By the skin of my teeth last time, though.
We don't own any racing games.
New York Zoo?
New York Zoo isn't technically a racing game. It's a race to finish, right?
This is the only game that's thematically a racing game.
This is the only racing game that we own. And I've always been kind of, so-so on whether or not we get any. And then we got this one, which I got for you. Mm-hmm. I picked this up, sent you a picture.
Yeah, but you had a lot of fun with it. It made your top 10 list.
Yeah, this game is way too much fun.
It's really fun.
And also, Billy is a very scary driver. Thunder Road Vendetta is like Mad Max, the board game.
I play to win. I don't care how many of my own cars I have to destroy. You're not making it to the finish line before me.
See? Don't drive near her. But you're just going across this course, trying to avoid obstacles, and apparently your opponent, who is dead set on smashing you off of the track. There's mines to look out for. There's wrecks to crash into. There's oil spills and mud to get stuck in.
You've got machine guns strapped to the front of your car.
You do. You have guns strapped to your
helicopters.
car. Helicopters swoop in and shoot cars. It's dice chucking. And little plastic
and then
cars.
Dice placement to put in the right abilities and slots and stuff.
You throw a handful of dice and then decide how you're going to use them to move your cars across this road. Road's a bit generous. And whoever gets across the finish line wins, or whoever has the last remaining car wins. So this one, I think we've played more of recently, so there might be a little bit of recency bias in there, but yeah, this one's...
It's really fun.
It's really fun. Who knew we liked race games? My number 2 is your number not 2, and that is Fit to Print.
That was my number 6.
Fit to Print, I will tell you that my number 2 and my number 1 are kind of like apples and oranges, and it was really hard to compare them. It could have gone either way, but Fit to Print is an amazing game about publishing your own newspaper if you were a woodland critter. Or if you're me, if you were very bad at publishing a newspaper. But basically, it's really just a tile placement game where you have to make sure that you're optimizing all your moves. So you can't have the same kinds of articles touching each other. You have to balance your happy stories with your sad stories to make sure that your paper is, something that people would enjoy reading. And you have to do all of this in real time, which is the biggest surprise of this game. And that is that you don't like real-time games.
That is true. I ordinarily do not. They stress me out.
However, being in the newsroom did not stress Billy out, and we played the real-time version exclusively. I think the hardest part is I don't have a lot of spatial awareness. So you select articles from a pile in the middle and put them on your table because you are a little newspaper editor and you have an actual 3D little table in front of you. You can't start laying them out in the paper until you say layout. And at that point, you can't draw any more tiles and you can't exchange any of your tiles. And you need to find a way to fit them into the paper by meeting all of those rules of not having the same ones touch each other, or having enough happy and sad, or having enough ads, but not too many ads. if you have gaps, you lose points for it. So trying to guess how many of these articles and photos and things that you need is really tricky. My paper's not the best, but it is adorable. And there's a little owl on it. So why do you think you're okay with real time in this and not in other games?
I have no idea.
No, because we tried to play Galaxy Trucker and that was chaos and that did not work.
I think it's because it just gave you more time, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we did play with it's 3, 4, or 5 minutes and we played with 5 so that it wouldn't cause too much pressure. But okay, I'm just curious because you definitely did not like the other ones.
I got no idea.
All right, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is, and because this is the way you wrote it, it is the way that I read it, just unmatched. All lowercase, I might add.
So Billy's number 2 is Unmatched Tales to Amaze.
Sure it is.
You had to know that Unmatched as a whole wasn't a 2023 game.
It was on the list.
I know, but it was just shorthand for, hey, that new Unmatched game.
In this particular instance, I did assume you meant the new version.
Right. And the new version is really fun.
It's really good. It's co-op. We get to work together finally.
It is co-op, which, by the way, we usually don't do well at.
But we won our first try.
Yes, we went right after Mothman.
All we heard was, how hard it was from people, and we kicked butt.
We did kick butt. We love Unmatched.
We had to double check to make sure we didn't cheat, and we didn't.
We did not cheat. We love Unmatched. We have all the sets except Bruce Lee. That's the only one we're missing at this point.
I believe it is, yes.
And we have the big battle boxes to store them in. In fact, we have an Unmatched tournament that, we should finish. We have one battle. One battle left. I think we kind of lost momentum because more sets came out and then the tournament felt like it was incomplete.
Yeah.
But we have one match left. So we're going to do it. It's going to happen. I don't think Unmatched was a surprise on either of our lists.
Right, what's your number 1?
My number 1 game I played 34 times last year. 34 times. Can you guess what it is? Can you guess what company it's by?
Yes.
What company?
Mattel.
My number 1 game is Numpsters from Button Shy, which I have now 4 or 5 copies.
Is that a 2023 game?
It is a 2023 game. Wait, look.
No.
Yes, it is.
No.
Yes, it is.
No.
Yes, it is.
It was in the Shut Up and Sit Down video, and that was at least 2 years ago.
2023.
Is that a new edition or something?
No, it's the only edition. 2023.
No,
yes.
Hang on.
It's 2023. It's right here. Numpsters. 2023.
Oh, no.
You're wrong, aren't you?
Oh, no.
I
was thinking of Food Chain Island.
Oh,
I was thinking of Food Chain Island.
I want to hear.
No.
You were right.
No.
Ugh. Okay, well, it is a 2023 release. And I did play it more than anything else. And like I said, it's really hard to compare, Fit to Print and Numpsters. They're not even remotely the same game. But I just went by the fact that I played it so much. I brought it everywhere. I have 4 or 5 copies, so I have one at work, one in my bag, one at home. This game is simply a game of little numbers eating bigger numbers. 7, 8, 9. Because why was 6 afraid of 7?
His history of violence.
Because 7, 8, 9. All you're doing is putting this big monster 8 that eats everything in between 2 numbers, a lower one and a higher one, and the lower one eats the higher one. Unless the special powers on each card make you do something different. You can play this game completely in your hand. I usually don't. I usually play it on the table. But you can play it right in your hand, so you can play it while you're waiting for something or standing in line or anything. It's really quick, and every time I finish it, I run right back and play it again. It's the kind of solitaire card game that I really enjoy. Very little setup, quick to play, and enough skill luck balance that I don't feel overwhelmed. And even if it does feel a little swingy at times, the game is quick enough that I don't mind. Plus it's bright and it's colorful and it's adorable. So what was your number 1?
I'm sure you figured it out by now.
Is it one of my honorable mentions?
It might be.
So it's definitely the Halloween version.
That's not what was on the list.
What's your number 1, Billy?
It's Boop.
It's Boop.
It's regular 2 O's Boop.
No, it's not. It's Boop.
Nope, that's not
it's 2023.
That is specifically not what was on the list.
But that's the one that came out in 2023.
No, but that wasn't even the premise you gave me when you gave me the list. It just sounded like, these are the games we've played in 2023.
Okay,
And
fine.
I thought, the list seems a little small. But sure, Boop's on there.
Okay, but why Boop? Because we're just going to assume that that's fine. We played it in 2023.
Fun and it's really easy to beat you at.
So you like Boop because you just win all the time? That's your criteria for whether something's good?
Because I win.
Because you win. Boop shouldn't be as much of a strategy game as it is. It's kittens bouncing each other off of a bed. But it is a really good strategy game.
Booping each other off
I'm sorry.
the bed.
Booping each other off the bed. And the board is actually like the quilt. It's padded. You put the little cats and kittens on it. You're just trying to get 3 cats in a row. That's it. And you get cats by getting 3 kittens in a row. It's really easy. All you do on your turn is put a cat or a kitten on the board. That's it. And then let the consequences happen. Kittens getting booped in every direction. It's really fun. I also almost always have a game of this going on Board Game Arena. So
do you at least win there?
Sometimes I win there. So mean. Oh, that's just mean.
Love you, Mom.
Yeah.
Love you.
Anyway, whether or not all of those games were from 2023, those were our top 10 2023 games-ish. What were your favorites from 2023? There are a lot that we didn't get to yet, so we're going to be playing them as we head into this year.
Put a asterisk in the title of the video.
Thank you for watching. If you like what you see,
Or if you'd like to keep watching until we get one right.
then please like, subscribe, and share. If you'd like to play some of these with us on Board Game Arena, you should join our Discord, where we will happily put invites in there and join people in games. I'll put all that information down below. As always, open tables, open minds, and play yourselves.
We also have a Patreon. Bye!
It's so weird. Do you have honorable mentions? Well, is it even a list if you don't have honorable mentions? These are games that came out in 2023 that we played in 2023.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. That's the list I gave you. Unmatched is for Tales to Amaze.
Yeah, at least one of them isn't.
What one?
Well, I can't tell you.
Okay, I'm gonna. All right. Billie
But
and
at least one of them, I believe, is an older game that we first played in 2023.
all right.
Good job.
What is the line?
I don't remember. You ruined it.
Okay, that's fine. It's close enough. Waffles. Good.